Welcome to the Big Biz Show.
I'm your number one fan, man. Woo!
Featuring insight and analysis that's second to most.
You don't impress me.
With Russ-T-Nailz.
Boogity boogity doo.
And Sully something.
You think he's a real man while you're being tucked in.
Taking a professional look at the markets and investing and stuff through bloodshot eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's just gibberish.
Now, here's Russ and Sully.
Live at the Jump Television Studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show on the air. Good to have you along today. I'm Sully. That's Russ-T-Nailz over there for a Tuesday as oil continues to cave. Good to have you on. Now we pick up our radio audience. So for the first, you don't know this when you're listening to us on radio. I was listening to us on radio the other day. I was out of the San Diego market.
How'd that sound?
It sounded good, but if you're just joining us on radio right now, we spend the first 5 minutes talking to the TV audience without you. So you missed a whole bunch of good information.
And I'm, by the way, the voice from your left speaker.
That's exactly right. What I noticed, did you cut your face?
Cut a mole, dude.
That's right.
You don't cut moles.
You're doing your own surgery type thing there?
Well, I started shaving just frantically. I got one of those new...
I saw a picture of you on our website with you had a beard.
I know. Going back to
what
it.
Safer.
Safer. I found one of those track ball things that pivots this way and this way.
Face.
So I'm just going at it. And
yeah. That's nice. Don't cut your face.
It doesn't need to be that bad.
Dow Jones, NASDAQ, S&P for the radio audience, all caved today. Nothing major, but it's about 1% on the Dow. Dow Jones losing 163 points. NASDAQ down 4, S&P down 13 today. Oil, big story, as I just mentioned to the TV audience, is down $37 a barrel.
That's good. Stay off the bridge. Everything's fine.
Well, I'm not, listen, here's the deal, is that if you start thinking in terms of what's happening with oil, a massive supply glut has wiped out 2/3 of oil's value after it peaked at $108 a barrel back in June of 2014. So the collapse is affecting mainly shale producers. And that's what you have up in the Bakken oil fields up in North Dakota.
You're not gonna see me crying over this one. No. It used to be $4.85, $5 a gallon.
Yeah, sentiment's horrible, by the way. Very bearish sentiment for oil and gas. And these moves come after last week's decision by OPEC not to cut oil production. So that's a contentious sort of a play there, because what it means OPEC, in my opinion, is betting on two things. Number one, they're either betting on a pickup in the 2016 global oil market or global demand, and then a long-awaited impact of a production slowdown, which is what they're doing. We're slowing down production in the U.S. because there's a glut of oil. So those are the two things that OPEC is, or the Saudis specifically.
I think they're counting on the return of the 409.
Yeah, I think, what's the 409?
The big old engine.
Oh, yeah. Like she's
refine my 409. Yeah, the gas guzzler, just 2 gallons. 2 miles.
And by the way, production is declining in the U.S. I mean, what did
gas?
Can we go to gasbuddy.com, guys? Do you guys have that up there?
250.
Chris Janikis is. Oh, look at that! These guys are slicker than snot on a wet doorknob.
244. How about
in California? So what you're looking at here, and if you're listening to us on radio, if you go to gasbuddy.com, you'll see a gas price heat map, which basically shows a map of the United States based upon gas prices, and of course, the more expensive the gas price, the hotter the state. Of course, California is basically purple.
We're not even orange ever.
We are always the most expensive gas.
Yeah.
Because we have 22 taxes on every gallon of gas. Did you know that? Every gallon of gas you buy has 22 taxes.
That's why we all go to Tijuana and get Pimmix.
That's exactly right. But so what did you? What did you?
$2.50 and it came with a car wash.
They're saying gas prices even in California will drop below $2 a gallon. How like that? By the way, in other news, before we get to our guest, Southwest Airlines is announcing that fares could fall because
as long as their planes don't.
Now look at SWA. Or look at LUV. That's the stock symbol for Southwest Airlines. Look at LUV.
That's where the crew owns part of it, right? Don't they get like shares?
If they buy, I'm sure they have employee stock purchase plan. I'm not positive about it. Can you guys pick that up? Yeah, LUV drops like a tummy tuck on a plus size model 10% today. Look at that thing.
Holy crap.
Thing now maybe you'll see a dead cat bounce come a little bit, but yeah, this is all because this is gas prices. This is why this all affects. This is why petroleum is good for the economy. People don't realize that petroleum is fantastic for the economy.
Boy, if that were the control tower and that was the graph, that'd be scary.
Be yeah. Hey, look who's here. Chase Wilsey's here. Chase Wilsey, Wilsey Asset Management. His father, Brent Wilsey, of course, a regular on the program, talking to us about all things market. But Chase is a millennial investment expert, and he's about 16 years old, as you can see. When did you start investing, by the way?
I started investing when I was 18.
18 years
when,
old?
When will you start shaving? That's what we just.
I actually don't have to shave too often.
Yeah, we know.
Unfortunately,
We know.
I don't have a nice beard.
Here's my point, though. You started at 18. Was that at the insistence of your father, or did you just watch what he was doing and decide that's what the direction you're going to go into?
I was actually very curious what my dad always did. And,
What's he doing?
He kind of showed
What the
me.
hell does he? What's he
Yeah,
do?
he kind of showed me. I was like, wow, this is cool. And that's when I decided to start
He
investing.
shuffles around his
So
bathrobe
you're
at noon.
23 now?
22.
22 now. So you've been investing for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Does it help? Did you have a good grasp of math?
Yes, I had a very good grasp of math.
Yeah.
I always loved numbers.
Because some people don't.
that's-
And I
You
would
don't
imagine
need to have a good grasp.
That's
of
what I'm
math.
wondering.
Do you need to have a good grasp of math to be a good
Yeah,
investor?
that's what I'm
No,
wondering.
you don't have to be in love with math, have a good grasp of math.
Yeah.
I just really like numbers, and I think that really helps when it comes to investing
Yeah.
because I like to look at the numbers every week, and I think that helps long term.
So let's review a couple of things. So we've talked about some of those apps that force whoever's using the apps to round up their purchases and they invest the difference. We've seen the positive and negative side of that. We talked about loans last week and why debt's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Let's continue on that because you want to talk about understanding debt. Why is this about just not spending too much, or is it more than that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about spending too much. It's, as I said, it's really about understanding everything. Like, it's you have to understand your debt. You can't just take it on and not realize how much you're spending on your debt. A lot of people, I think, are like, I just want to get rid of it. Well, there's a lot of issues with trying to get rid of it. On student loans, it's kind of fortunate. On home loans and auto loans, sometimes there's what's called a prepayment penalty.
Oh, I hate those.
Which those will get you.
But you have to understand this stuff, right?
Exactly, and you have to read the fine print. Unfortunately, in the financial world, there's a lot of great salespeople who
Yeah.
kind of put in all these hidden fees that if you don't understand the fine print, you're going to get nitpicked and pay a lot more than you should for
A lot of
taking out
and
a
or
loan
slashes within the contract. Like, what is it? What? No, just sign it.
Yeah. And I mean, back to the prepayment fee, that's just a big one. A lot of people want to pay off their loan.
Yeah.
Well, if you pay it off early, you could pay a huge penalty. Or if you try and refinance and have a prepayment penalty, you could pay that prepayment penalty again as well.
Okay, talk to me about what sort of the psyche is and sort of how many of your college-age friends are approaching debt. Is it always student loan debt, or are they also starting to get into cars at this point?
I'd say the main driver of debt right now is student loan debt, because a lot of kids realize, I'd say they're overwhelmed by student debt and say they can't do other things because I got to pay off my school first.
Right.
Which, that's good to understand where your debt is, but also don't be afraid to kind of start saving for retirement is a big one. Don't overpay on your student debt.
Okay, talk about that because we talked about that last week a little bit. It doesn't. I said we got a number of emails about that.
Good.
The long story short is that people don't understand why you wouldn't pay off your debt as fast as you could.
Yeah, and going back to the financial world, I think it's always important to ask questions. Ask about those hidden fees. Ask for an amortization schedule if you're taking out a loan, so you can say, well, this is how much I'm paying in interest each month. This is how much I'm paying towards principal each month. And as I said last week, if you pay after the first 5 years of a 10-year loan, you already pay off 71% of the interest.
That's a scary number. A few numbers when you finally go, what?
Yeah.
You mean every month I'm giving you $800 toward the interest and $100 toward the what did I sign up for? It's too late then, though.
Yeah. So if you've already paid off that interest and you've already why not continue to make the same payment and pay off the principal?
Yeah.
That way you can actually start putting more money towards retirement, putting more money towards other things that are important.
Because if that
in life.
money's being used elsewhere, making 8%, and then you're just paying a 2 or 3,
Exactly.
You're
And
making
the big thing about loans too is the loan value decreases, the principal on that decreases.
Mm-hmm.
When you invest, it compounds and grows over time. So they're essentially opposites, which we like to see compounding.
Would that be an argument for not refinancing debt?
I would say so, and as it always comes back to understand the loan, because a lot of times people say, oh, let's refinance, and they don't understand. They see the 4% versus 6%, and they're like, yeah, let's refinance it. Well, a lot of times when you refinance, you drag out the period of the loan. So you're dragging out another 5 years.
Right.
Well, you could incur more interest payments, because even though you're lowering the monthly payment, you're still paying more interest in the long run.
I still think math helps.
Well, maybe understanding.
Start putting all the numbers there.
Do you subscribe to the because a lot of kids are in debt with student loans. as well as some credit card debt, as well as some auto debt. Do you subscribe to the theory that all debt has to be paid off before you invest?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my big things is I kind of like to look at putting 10% away of your income for retirement purposes, we'll call it. So if that includes paying off debt, that should come first, making the minimum payment, in my opinion, and then you can put the rest away for retirement. So
then that's when you're starting young, because you have a huge time horizon.
Exactly. And coming back to the compounding, if you start now, and we've done it so many times looking at that retirement calculator, if you start now and let that compound, you're going to have a lot more money for retirement than if you wait 5 years because you're paying off debt.
Kid's a genius. Name's Chase Wilsey, Wilsey Asset Management. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
This is also a Bikram yoga studio, by the way.
It's getting high here.
I know. I had to
Relax and enjoy, Russ. You just earned it. And of course, their tagline for Wilsey Asset Management: "We going to make money this year?"
We'll see.
Thank you. Let's not really.
That's why I invested.
All right, coming
damn
up.
right.
What do we have coming up? Are we going to do a little Bistry maybe?
History, or we can do
My story?
what's the other one?
Anchor, banker, flanker?
No, the weird one.
Bloodbuster money?
No, the weird one.
Smell
I came
my
up
hand.
with. No, the one we've never done.
I don't know.
Not choking or
Choking or hold it?
What do you think the teacher's going to look
Choking
like
or smoke?
this year?
Smoking or choking.
Whoa!